Time now that we continue with our BYU football fall camp preview. We have Bryan Kehl, 6-year NFL veteran and former linebacker great, in studio to help us do that. Bryan, we say the defense for the latter part because this is where you made a name for yourself, man. This is
where you paid the bills.
This is right down your alley. Okay, so let's start with the defensive line. How much pressure can a 3-4 front, and specifically this BYU defense, get on opposing quarterbacks in 2015 with their personnel now?
Hopefully more than last year. I think they have the potential. There's good guys. We got experience. Get guys back healthy. They should be hungry. I expect them to get after the quarterback. I expect Bronson to just unleash. I'm going to go kind of before the games. I'm going to kind of poke him and prod him and get him mad and get him angry and get a mean streak going. And
does he get mad?
He will after I poke him and prod him a little bit.
Show him a picture of Kelly Olynyk, okay, the Gonzaga center. It's like, hey, Kelly Olynyk said your weak sauce or whatever.
There we go.
It's something.
There we go.
The water boy mentality using the Gonzaga center.
There we go.
Gatorade is better. Okay, I love the defensive line for BYU because 5 of the 6 guys in the 2 deep return.
Experience.
Bronson Kafusi and Remington Peck at left end. Nose tackle Travis Tuiloma, who Bronco Mendenhall called the most important part of the defense. Interestingly, Kenzie Tauzinga, he's the newcomer to that. Logan Taile and Graham Rowley at right end.
Experience.
These guys have experience. Now, if you're experienced doesn't improve or you weren't that good, that doesn't matter. But I think these guys can take a step forward. They've got experience in big games, and hopefully that means they get a little more pressure on the Q.
And here's the thing. Rushing from the inside, like these guys that we've just named, it's a little different than being the flashy premier edge rusher. We'll go back to a guy I played with, Jan Jorgensen, the Mountain West Conference's sack leader, I believe, career sack leader, if I'm not mistaken. Got a lot of sacks. Got to the quarterback a lot.
In the 4-3.
No, 3-4.
And then, in the 3-4.
Yeah.
Or it switched after his freshman year.
No, 3-4.
Okay.
His freshman year was one thing. He got to the quarterback a lot, and then it switched, and it was
defense,
more of a struggle.
Or you're saying his success?
Both.
Yeah, the defense stayed the same.
The point being, the D line, it's tougher in the 3-4.
His best year was 07. No, 06. No, it was 07. Yeah, his best year was 07, which was my senior year.
His junior year.
No, what year is that?
I have caused a disruption in the details.
Yes, you have.
Sorry.
Pull it up.
I do that all the time.
If I remember right, my senior year, 07, he got 14 sacks. I can't recall what class was he that year in 07.
He was a junior in 2007. No.
Was he a junior? No.
He played in 09.
He was a sophomore. I think he was a sophomore.
Okay, we figured it out.
Sorry, my bad.
He was a sophomore.
Jaron, what have you done?
Keep going.
07, he was a sophomore, and he got 14 sacks. Is that correct?
13.5 as a soph in 07.
Okay, so how in the world does he pull that off?
But here's the thing.
How does he do that?
My point was, he's not flashy. Sorry, Jan. He's not a freakish athlete. Sorry, Jan. He had good moves. He worked his tail off, and he basically his will lasted longer than his opponent, and a lot of his sacks came because of that. And that's kind of how it works on the inside, rushing the passer from the inside. It's not flashy. It's more just impose your will and outlast the guy across from you. I don't want to take anything away from Jan. He was a great football player, and he really helped our team. He was an integral part of our team. But getting back to these guys, those characteristics, those traits, those aren't God-given. Deciding to work hard, deciding to play the play longer than the guy trying to block you, hustling, that's decision. That's will. And any of these guys can demonstrate those abilities.
Here's what I don't want to say this year. Well, the defense is made so the linebackers can get – it's like – so you just eat up blocks? Like you can tackle guys sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be an excuse.
What you want is 11 guys that are a bunch of rabid dogs, and that ball carrier is a piece of meat. And they know if they don't get there first, they're not going to eat. And they're going to die. And you want 11 guys like that are fighting, that are battling, that are in a competition to get to the ball carrier first. I hate the Seattle Seahawks. I've said that from this pulpit before. But I respect the crap out of them. I respect their defense, even though I can't stand them. But if you watch their defense play, that's how every guy, they don't want the guy next to them to get the tackle. They want to get the tackle. They want to get the tackle. Yeah. You know what happens as a result of that? They got a dang good defense, and that's what we need.
Looking at the linebackers, the defensive line, let's say they do their job. They're block eaters. They take down the offensive line so that the linebackers can step up and do what they are supposed to do in this Bronco Mendenhall defense. As you look at the linebacking crew, we already talked about who knows who the defensive leader is going to be. Generally, it comes from the linebacker. We don't know. But in terms of just making plays, who is the standout linebacker on the team? Just making plays.
Warner.
Fred Warner.
Oh, yeah.
You love you some Fred Warner.
I do. He's my guy. That's my horse. I'm going to ride him.
What about the underrated linebacker on this team that could have a breakout season?
I'm pulling for Harvey.
Harvey Longy from that inside linebacker position.
I'm pulling for him.
I think BYU needs him to be really good.
I don't know if I could say this, but I'll say it anyway.
Like
so it's too late. I'd never really talked to him, and I was in the locker room at halftime. I don't remember what game it was. I was in the locker room. I'll just say this: we were both doing our business, and just number one. And we looked to each other.
Man.
We looked to each other. We just had a little conversation about football, and I had never talked to the kid before, and I came away impressed. I did. I came away impressed. Like, this kid is, he's sharp. He's kind of got his head on his shoulders, and I got in his camp. I said, you know what? I want him to do well. I want him to be good. So.
Harvey Longy, breakout linebacker, according to Bryan Kehl.
That's what I hope for.
My breakout, Sai Tautu, graded out as the best linebacker on the team last year. Sione Takitaki, I think, is going to get to the quarterback a lot more. BYU was throwing some guys out there that didn't have experience. This year, it's different. This year, they were solidifying concrete, and now they're rock solid.
Now for perhaps the biggest question mark in all of BYU football fall camp, and that is the secondary. BYU, let's face it, did not perform well at all in the secondary last year. They were exposed and thrown over the top of by several teams, and that's good scouting on the opponent's parts because the secondary had injuries. They certainly struggled. What happens now with this new look secondary of BYU football?
They better rise up. That's all I can say. Last year was just pathetic. Nothing short of pathetic. Yeah, I said it. You were pathetic last year.
Okay, let's look at some numbers to validate or not, right? Okay, Total defense, 56. But you look at pass yards allowed, 270, 112th in the country. Got to get better. So let's look at some of the names in here.
Yeah,
okay?
That's pathetic.
Okay, field corner, Micah Hanneman. Okay, I liked him in spring. I thought he was good.
Off a mission.
Michael Shelton behind him. Jordan Prater or Michael Davis. Those guys started games and had bright spots.
Yeah.
Last year.
There's potential. There's all sorts of potential.
There's quickness there. I like it. Eric Takanaka or Grant Jones. So you're throwing a brand new cat safety out there. This is the a replacement last year after multiple injuries, and then Kai Nakua or Chris Badger. So you're replacing 3 of the 4 starters in the secondary. Biggest question mark for me. Yeah, only 21 career starts return in that. Who's the most important piece of that secondary? The free safety who's making the calls?
It depends on who you ask, but I mean, logistically, it's the free safety making the calls, because if he's messed up, then everybody's going to be messed up. So, mentally, it's that spot. Physically, it's the field corner, because that's the hardest position. He's out there kind of by himself, and he's got a lot of field to cover. And if he messes up, bombs over Baghdad, and we saw that last year. And so physically, that's the position that's hardest. And I don't know. Going back to those guys, there's potential. They're just showing highlights. Kai Nakua, he is an athlete.
Former quarterback who
he's an athlete, man, and kind of a knucklehead, and we're not gonna rehash that, but let's get him matured. Let's get him sharp, and I think he could be fantastic for us. I think he could be a game changer back there, ball hawking, changing games.
You can alleviate that with some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, that helps.
Bryan Kehl bringing it calling out the offensive line
Hey,
and the secondary.
hey, I speak the truth. So you don't like it, then change it.